Station 2, this is going to be our plyometric change of direction station. Now, I'm liable to change where this is because this field is wet and slippery, and if we're changing direction, it's not ideal, okay? I got to figure out some space to do it because I'm just not sure there's space in the turf. So we may end up marking this off, making this our speed mechanic station because that's at least straight ahead. So just know that some of this, we got to work in it first before we can decide, hey, that works or hey, that doesn't work. But this is going to be, for now, this station will be the same. It just might not be in this spot. When you come through the field, Group A, Group B is over there. Okay, so y'all just got to decide at the beginning of the day which group's going where, and when you get done, y'all can't leave the field at the same time. Okay, so let Group B go off first, and then Group A follow them. Keep 10 yards between y'all. Day 1, if you notice on your sheet, Station 1's the same every day, so that dynamics is going to be simple, and most of the kids know it too. It shouldn't take a ton of explaining. Day 2, or Station 2, is going to change every other day. So day number 1 on Station 2, we're more focused on some easy plyometrics. I talked about that Achilles earlier, right? We're trying to slowly introduce loading to the Achilles, to the tendon, to the hips, to the patella, to make sure that they're used to absorbing force, right? Because what you can't do is just say, oh, we're not going to do any jumping for 6 weeks, because then when you introduce jumping, it's still not acclimated. Acclimation is like a vaccine. You give just a little bit, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more until the body is immune to what you're trying to prevent it from getting injured with. So that's what we're trying to do here. These are low-level impact plyometrics. Think about like jumping rope level plyometrics when you think of that name. It's not the big jump up on a box with a med ball and then do a depth jump for as high as you can go. So the first one we got on there is an ankle hop. Again, think Achilles, think the muscles of the foot, think your AT muscle, which is on the anterior tibialis, okay? We're trying to teach all that to absorb and redirect force. It's a simple jump with nothing moving except for the ankle, so it's just right here. Okay, and we're gonna go, and here's how this will set up. If we have 9, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then everybody jumps in the same direction at the same time. So if I say, hey, we're gonna do 5 yards of ankle hops, everybody just goes to the next cone. You say 10 yards, they go 2 cones over, okay? So 5-yard ankle hop, ready, go. They all bounce. I don't wanna see hips. Arms are okay, but what I don't wanna see is turning into this. We're not doing that yet. We're just trying to teach them to be reactive. Think a tennis ball off the ground. Next, we'll turn around. We'll do the same thing going back. Ankle hops. Ready. Go. No, go forward. Go. Just going back to where you started. Because we're limited on space. So if we go a rep forward, a rep backwards, we never run out of room. Next are pogos. Now, pogos is an ankle hop, but now we're adding in the hips, okay? So now it's just a little more explosive than that ankle hop. Still want to see the bounce out of the ankle. And by the way, for your young athletes, a lot of them, the reason they're not fast is they have no idea how to be reactive off the ground. Teaching their mind to feel the floor, feel the surface they're on is really, really important for developing athleticism in our young athletes. We're going to talk about that in our speed mechanics station later. One of the things, we've always been great at teaching knee drive. We've never been really, really great at teaching how to feel the force, how to feel the track, how to feel the turf. That's really, really important. In fact, it might be more important than knee drive. So, coming back, pogos, add a little hips to it, ankles and hips. Right there, ready, go. A little bit of hips, still getting the ankle, a little bit more hang time, 5 yards, we'll turn around, coach them up a little bit, hey, change this, hey, little Johnny, do that. Give them about 30 seconds, coming back, ready, go, same thing. Next, jumps with the UAP pause. So now, we've talked about the reactive side of jumping. Now we want to talk about the force production side of jumping. This means I'm pushing more of my muscle system instead of being reactive off the ground. So plyometric is a fancy term for reactive, okay? So when you get a guy, it's the reason you can dunk a basketball when you sprint at the goal instead of standing still. Because as you produce force in the ground, my Achilles, my tendon, and my muscle systems, they absorb it like a rubber band and they release that energy, right? That's called being plyometric. Well, now we want to teach the muscle to fire without that assistance. So, we're going to be right here. Everybody's reaching up. I'm going to say, hit UAP, ready, hit. Everybody gets down right here in UAP. Then I say jump, and they're going to jump and land and pause in UAP. So now, We're trying to teach the athlete to absorb force. This is what prevents those Achilles tears. This is what prevents your ACL tears. When you see an athlete land and do this, that's an injury indicator, okay? So I want to teach them not to do that. So right now we're working on jump and absorb. They should be in the same position they started. Jump and absorb. It should be soft, okay? So if we were in the weight room or on some concrete, I don't want to hear them land. I want it to be silent, because as they absorb, they take that force and they spread it over time, okay? But I also don't want it to be slow, right? Because when you're playing a sport, you don't have half a second to decelerate. You've got 1 second, or like 1 millisecond, right? So you've got to be able to hit it soft and fast. How fast can I absorb? How well can I control when I do it? Okay, so here we go. And they'll jump on your command each time. Ready, up, hit, go, pause, go, pause, go, pause, relax. And we'll turn around and do the same thing going back. Now, does not got to be super deep. Right here is okay. Doesn't got to be way down here. If you ever watch sports, not everybody plays down here. Sometimes you got to take that jump shot right here, okay? So, doesn't got to be super deep, but I got to load the hips, got to have weight dispersed evenly through the foot, knee over toes. Next, full jump. So go back. Now we're just taking everything we've done and combining it. I'll say reach your hands up, or I'll say throw and go. So you teach the athletes throw, back into the heels, and then start your jump. And this is a reactive jump. Combine the pogos, combine the ankles, combine the hips. Basically jump as high as you can, land and jump again without a pause. No pause here. So reach up, throw and go in my go. Ready, go. And going a little bit forward. A little bit forward. Sorry, I should explain that. And then once they hit their 10 yards, they stop. Okay, walking back. Now, if you notice, we've taken some time with all this. Every station has more exercises than I think you're going to be able to do. I would rather have stuff on the sheet so you don't run out of stuff and stand there than not enough and you're standing there, well, what do we do now? Let's wait around and do nothing. I want something to do, even if it's not intense, if it's not a lot on the body. So next one we got, you may not get to this one. And with those young cats, this is really important, but it doesn't need to be impressive, okay? So we're doing single leg jumps now. When you're playing a sport, very, very, very rarely are you on 2 legs, even sprinting. One leg's always in contact with the ground, the other one's always gaining ground in a direction, or vertically. So we've got to teach them to absorb force, both in a dual leg position, but also a single leg position, okay? So now, we're gonna teach the athletes to go right here in a single leg knee up. We're gonna load down, and they're gonna jump at it. I mean, it might be 6 inches, I don't care. I don't care how far they get. All I care is, can they get up and land? Can they get up and land? And stabilize as they land. That's what we're looking for. So we'll go right leg. Do not, with your older athletes, if you want to increase to 10, 15 yards for some of this stuff on the second, third week, that's great. With these young athletes, especially the single leg stuff, make it short and very intentional. Attention to detail is huge right here. So, left knee up, load, 5 yards, ready, go. Land and control, then take your next jump. Land and control, take your next jump. Good, once you get that second cone, you're done. Turn around, we'll do the same thing back. Left leg, knee up, load, go. Land and control, land and control, land and control. Good, absorb force, stabilize. And then as we get better at these and we dominate them, now is in between. Now we're gonna get into more of our full body ply measures again. Week 1, if you don't get to this stuff, that's fine. Fine, broad jumps. This is like our full jumps for earlier, but instead of going vertical with them, the goal is to get out. It's a reactive jump. You hit the ground and go. I want to see the hips loading. I want to see triple extension through the hips as I jump, okay? Goal is to gain distance now. So, we'll same thing. We'll reach up. When I say go, you throw and go, and give me broad jumps, 10 yards. Ready, go. Now I'm getting out, reactive, just like Roby's doing. He's better than every single one of our athletes. Don't expect anybody to look like that. We don't have a single Ross Roby here. Not a single one. Hey, that's a good point. Put your bad athletes in the back.
Yeah.
Seriously, put your bad athletes in the back. This is going to get run over. Hey, hold on, man.
Nothing
Hold
personal,
on, man. I got you. I was wanting. Okay, power skip. Power skip's nothing complicated, but kids seem to mess it up all the time. A power skip, give them the first 5 yards as a run-in. When they hit that first cone, they're going to go 10 yards of a power skip or 15 for your older athletes. Again, you can adjust some of this stuff. If you got a group of dudes or dudettes and you know they're athletes and you're like, man, 10 yards is wasting their time, you can give them a little bit extra. Be a coach. Be smart about it. Same thing on the other end. You got those 6th graders in here and they're tripping over their feet, right? Maybe don't give them the advanced stuff. Simplify it a little bit for them. But a power skip, my goal is to drive into the ground, get great triple extension out of my plant leg, perfect 90 degrees out of my drive leg, and get maximum force production vertical. Maximum force production vertical. So it'll be like this. I'll jog and drop. Next, power skips for distance. Same idea, but now you're teaching the athletes to drive out instead of vertical. I don't care about going vertical, I care about distance. Last one we're going to teach in this series is bounding. Now, bounding is, they're going to struggle with it, and that's okay. And as a coach, it's going to be very frustrating, like, how are you so unathletic? Like, how is this so awful? And what I found is, teach it, let them fail. Teach it, let them fail. Patience and weeks, and you'll even see your 6th and 7th graders actually starting to master this, okay? But we talked about, very first thing, feeling the ground, interacting well with the floor. That's important. Bounding is an exercise in interacting with the floor, okay? Can I be reactive when I sprint? That's what we're trying to teach the body. So we're going to stand right here, and before we ever take them linear, before we take them forward, we're going to stay in place. And we're just going to tell them, hey, box and bounce back and forth, okay? Just get loose. Feel the floor, okay? And then once you got the guys doing this and it looks good, okay, start picking those knees up. Getting off the ground. Make sure this looks right. And once they're here and they're doing this well, now start slowly taking it forward. And now get lean. What I just did is about like my max capacity as a really bad athlete. If Ross did it, it would look way better. But these kids are not coordinated enough, even your seniors, to do this a lot of the time. We've had starters on our football and track team who look like baby giraffes trying to do that. So be patient with it, okay? Keep them right here at the line and just do a rep back and forth. And then get everybody doing the hop, right? Until they master that, there's no point in taking them forward. But it's important because if you can't be reactive with the ground like that, there's no way you can maximize your sprint ability. It ain't gonna happen. You've got to learn to feel the floor.
One of the first coaching points on that is if you see a kid hitting with his heel first, right? Whenever they're bounding. If they're hitting with their heel first, like right, you can go ahead and stop them. You can take 30 more seconds to tell them where to strike it. And it's mid-foot, right? That's where you want your strike force to be whenever you're doing this, right?
Ball with the foot. Yeah, that's great. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. Always, when you're making contact with the ground, ball of the foot touches first, midfoot, okay? So if you see a kid heel, but also if you see a kid here, right? I don't want either extreme, ball of the foot. Everybody knows what ball of the foot is, right? Awesome. Will y'all help me gather up these cones? We're gonna go to our sprint mechanic. Oh no, I didn't do Tuesdays, I apologize. I promise I'm hotter than y'all are right now. Yeah, Tuesdays, we got our snap down stuff. Now Monday's all about reactive ability. Tuesday, what we're trying to do is change a direction ability. Absorb force, redirect, okay? Protect the ACL. This is where your big injuries happen. When a kid cannot decelerate and reaccelerate they get into bad habits, really bad habits. So we got to teach their body to absorb properly. Strongest muscle in your body is your glute. You want to use your glute when you change direction. To use the glute, you got to drop your center of mass. You got to get low, okay? That UAP we talked about earlier, this is the foundation for all change of direction. We've got to master this, and we've got to be able to get into this position in slightly different variations that are more usable, okay? So if I want to go, I won't even get into all the mechanics of this. Let's just teach the drilling. Go. First one, UAP snap downs. Remember I talked about this? Reach up, hit. Reach up, hit. We're just getting the guys in a position. Hold them there until every single athlete looks like they should look. Hold them right there. You see around back, hey, pull your scaps together. You see right here, hey, stick your hips back, right? You gotta coach them up on it. Gotta coach them up in that UAP position. If you take that 6th grade group and all you do is UAP position, I'm fine with that, because they gotta master it first. Next, single leg snap downs. That's what we did before we did our single leg jump. So just practicing here, hit. Here, hit. If you've got more advanced athletes, go ahead and add a jump on the end of it to end the drill. So it could be here, hit, up. Extend, hit, up. You can even add a rotation or change of direction. Again, this is just if you feel like as a coach your kids are bored, make it more challenging. Same drill, a couple different variations. Rotate 90 to the right. Hit, up. See if they can still land in UAP. Forward, ready. Hit, up. Walk it back, okay? Get creative with it.
Are we doing the side to side before we do that?
They can. Really, with 90% of our groups, just the hits and checking position is all I want. I'm saying if you got like some seniors in there, juniors in there, and you know they've been training and they're doing well, add some variation to it, whatever you feel like. It's gonna make it just a little more challenging. Next, we got UAP kickouts, okay? I wish I had a line for this, but the cone will do. They're gonna get in front of their cone, get them extension, they're gonna say hit, they're in UAP position. I'm gonna say kick your left leg out. And then I wanna see eye over knee over toe. What we're trying to teach here is inside load. How to load the leg you're about to drive off of, okay? So if I'm here, that means that I'm about to push off in this direction, right? So we want to be right here. Or no, if I'm here, I'm about to push off in this direction, sorry. So here's where this is going, just so you understand. I'm doing my 5-10-5. I need a 90-degree cut. I'm going full speed this direction. What do I have to do before I can go that direction? Decelerate, slow down. I can't go that way until I slow down. So as I approach the line, I want to slow down as efficiently as possible. That means as few steps as possible. How do I do that? I plant, I sink, I whip, drive out. 1, 2, 3, and I'm gone. You give me a guy who takes 3 steps versus a guy who takes 8 steps, 3 steps wins every time, no matter how big he is. That's how the NFL has 330-pound guys doing a 5-10-5 in 4.2. Efficient steps. So we're gonna be right here, hit, kick, and then when you blow your whistle, switch. Switch. Torso doesn't move, eyes don't move. Center of mass load's different. Inside leg, inside leg, inside leg, inside leg. Keep it low, flat back, okay? Once you practice those and master them, now we're gonna use it in the field of play. Forward position. This is called a whip cut, okay? You just get that inside load position. Tell everybody, left leg plant, right leg whip. 70%, this is almost a walkthrough. Go to the line, 1, 2, 3, plant, whip, and pause. That's it. Once they're here and everybody's here, hit, have them drive across. So you're teaching them that 3-step cut, very, very controlled. Once you've hit it, and you've done it with a pause, take away the pause. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, plant, whip, drive. And then you can increase the tempo and the intensity after that. And then we're gonna time a 5-10-5. One thing we're gonna do, and this is psychological more than anything, the kids are disappointed they're not in the weight room. Kids are disappointed that we're doing 10 minutes of station, slowly introducing them. It's not gonna be, you know, your traditional all-out strength conditioning time. So we got to throw them some bones. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rank, record, and publish as much as we can safely, right? Like we're not going out and running a 40 day one because we'll pull hamstrings. We're going to run a 10-yard from a staying position. Anybody can do that, okay? We're going to time it. We're going to write it down. I'm going to rank every kid in our program. I'm going to post it on Twitter. Top 10 guys today, 10-yard dash. We're going to time our 5, 10, 5. Write it down, take it, put it on Twitter. We're going to make sure every day they've got something to win in, something to get better at, something to compete in. Because we're limited. We can't do a lot of competition right now. Can't do tug of wars and a lot of the stuff we would traditionally do. So we got to give them something right here. 5, 10, 5. Take your stopwatch out. Line the guys up in the second cone. Hand down. Whichever hand is down is the direction they go. They've got to touch outside hand. So they go drive, outside hand, outside hand. You stop the clock when they finish. Any questions on 5, 10, 5? I think we got that. Let's pick up these cones. We will exit